Okay, Algebra 2, we're looking at section 2.8. And the big idea here is that we have solving absolute value equations and inequalities. So what does that mean? Solving equations, but we got inequalities. That means we're dealing with this kind of stuff. Greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, all that kind of thing. So how are we going to deal with that? Well, there's all this extra detail on whether it's or, whether it's and I'm going to get to that. But in general, right now, we're just going to use some kind of test points and some logic to work our way through. So we're going to just jump right in. But these notes are kind of as a good backup to go to things. One of the general consistencies is that when you see something say and, you're going to tend to have something that's going inside toward itself like that, where it's kind of a common, like if you imagine a Venn diagram, it's almost like it's the piece that's in the middle where it's the left circle and the right circle. Whereas if it's an or, it's almost like it's just the outsides of a Venn diagram. It's like this side or this side here. So and is like the middle of a Venn diagram, and or is like the outsides. Kind of. Sort of. Usually. Not all the time, but you'll see some of the differences here and there. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Here we go. Head first. And here we go, starting off. Number 1. So it says x plus 3 is less than 2, or 1/2 x is greater than 1. These are inequalities, and these are starting out with real easy kind of one-step simplifications. So for the first one, I look at it and I say, oh, if I were to subtract 3 from both sides, then I would have x is less than -1. Or I would have on the other one, if I wanted to simplify this x, I would make a 1 by multiplying by 2 on both sides. That would give me x is greater than 2. All right. So x is less than -1. So I want to start with first, this is not equal, which means I'm open. You know, I have an open boundary. There's no closed boundary, but I'm going to be open at -1. So I'm going to draw an open circle there. Same thing at 2. And there's an open circle there. So when it says x is less than -1, now think of this. Think of these. Here's our numbers that we're going to shade. This is your shading. And it's telling you to shade the part that's smaller than -1. Well, the part that's smaller than -1 would be this side down here. There we go. Now, if you weren't sure, like if it were the left or right, you could do a test point. So if I were to say, well, let's see, is 0 less than -1? Oh, that's false. So the 0 side right there would have been false. But then the other side over here would have been true. So you got that true-false kind of thing going on. Same thing would happen for the other part. X is bigger than 2. But it's the same thing as saying 2 is less than x. You know, I don't know how you want to get specific on, oh, here's the arrow is pointing to the right, or here's the arrow pointing to the left, all that kind of stuff. Just think about it. Use some logic. We got x, and they're big. X is big. This side's big. The other side's little. All right, so next one, pretty much the same idea here. We do have a couple of other small details. We got these less than or equal to, so we got an equals in there and an equals in there. And this time it's going to say and. So let's see how we deal with those. So first on the left side, I'll make a 1 by dividing both sides by -6. And on the right side, I'm going to subtract 6. Now, there's a couple things that are about to happen. The first thing, watch this. Just watch this. See what happens here. Boom, boom, change. So whenever you multiply or divide by negative, something really happens there. You flip the inequality. So if it was, you know, facing one way, the mouth facing to the right here, then it'd be facing to the left. But other than that, all the math is kind of pretty much the same. So let's get back to our blue, back to blue. 18 divided by -6 is -3. On the other side, I have x is less than or equal to, well, 6 minus 6 is 0. Okay, now notice these are both closed, which means that we have the or equal to's in each of those. So on the -3, I'm going to have a closed circle. And on the 0, I'm also going to have a closed circle. And now let's work our way through this and see what's going to happen. So x is bigger than -3. That means I'm going to go this way. But I'm not going to go any further than that. On the other one, it says x is less than 0. I'm going to go this way. Now, technically, we would have a line doing this and a line doing this. But whenever you say and, you're talking overlap. So the overlap would actually be just this part in the middle. So we're just going to shade just that part in the middle. And then the other parts would be kind of true sometimes, but not for both. And is implying that both have to be true at the same time. All right, now let's keep going with this. We can speed up a little bit. This says +4 + 4, and then I'm going to divide both sides by -4 over here. Now they're not kind of helping me out as much as they were before. Now it's my job to finish this out. I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative on these left ones here. So that's going to be a simple x is less than -3. On the right side, it says divide by a negative. So I got to flip that inequality. And I still got the x over here on the left side. And on the right side, I'm going to have a -1. Okay, so x is greater than or equal to -1. That means I have an or equal to, booyah, we're going to fill that one. But on the other one for the -3, that is open. All right, now it says x compared to 3. Is x bigger than 3 or is x smaller than 3? It looks like the x is smaller than the 3. But on the opposite end, it looks like the x is bigger than the -1, so we're going to shade bigger than. Because this is or, we can split it like that. If that actually said and, this would be an empty graph. There'd be no solution because and is about the overlap, and if there is no overlap, there is no solution. Okay, let's keep going. Now we got an and in here. We're going to divide both sides by -3 for the first one, but because it's dividing by a negative, that's going to flip the inequality. So it's going to say x is greater than or equal to -2. And on the other one, we're going to subtract, whoops, not 3, subtract 2. That would give us x is less than 3. And now notice that we have to watch for our or equal to or not equal to. This one is not equal. So actually, let me just erase that. Let's start using some, whoa, that was big. Let's do that again, but not quite as big. Much better. There we go. All right, so what are we doing here? I lost my train. Oh, yeah. This one is not equal, but this one is equal, which means that this one gets a closed circle at -2. So we're going to make a circle and then close it up. And then at 3, that's going to be an open circle. All right, so starting from 3, it looks like we're going to be less than, so we're starting to go that way. And then for the -2, x's are bigger than, so we're starting to go this way. But instead of going all the way that way and all the way that way, we're doing and, which means overlap, so we're just doing the middle. Piece of cake. All right, let's wrap this one up. We're almost done here with this first video. It says 3x 12, we divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by -3, divide by -3, and then you're going to have x is less than 12. And then it says and, so we're looking for overlap. Okay, so now what's this other part here? We got x is greater than -4. Oh, wait, what did I do here a second ago? Whoops. That should be a 4. Okay, so x is less than 4 and x is greater than -4. Notice the flip. Why? Because we divided by negative. Okay, so x is less than 4, but it's not equal. This one is not equal. The other one is equal. So, or the other one's not equal either. Pardon me, it's not equal for either one. So it means we have open circles at each of those. So at -4, we got an open circle. And at 4, we got an open circle. Both of those are open. It says and for the first one, it says x is greater than -4. So we're going to start at -4 and do the stuff that's bigger. Why? Because x is bigger. Let's see how x compares to 4. It is smaller. and we're looking for the overlap. These are actually going to overlap each other right here in the middle. So we have a line between those two open circles. Whoa, number 6, check it out. Check it out. 2 steps. First we got to add 2. And then that gives us 1/2 x is less than or equal to 2. Then we got to multiply by 2. And that gives us x is less than or equal to 4. Alright, so this one is equal. Let's see what that's going to do for us. I'm going to take that back so you can see my little equal sign. The other one, very, very similar. It's got a negative in it. I'm actually going to do, yeah, we'll just do the same thing pretty much. Subtract 2, subtract 2. We got negative 1/2 x is less than or equal to negative 3. And then we multiply by 2, but negative, multiply by negative 2. That's going to give me x on the left side because I made a 1. Negative 2 times 1/2 is 1. But then I'm going to flip the symbol. Why am I flipping the symbol? Because I multiplied by a negative. And this other side is negative times a negative going to become positive. All right, so let's see what we got. We got the or. That's cool. So this first one says x is less than or equal to 4. So I'm going to have 4 with a circle, but it's going to be filled. Why? Because it's equal. Both of these are closed circles. It says x is less than 4. So that means x's are smaller than 4. I shade below the 4. The next one says x's are bigger than or equal to 6. That's actually off my graph. I got to add some to it. I draw a circle, but I'm going to close it up because it is equal to, and then I shade bigger. This is x is greater than or equal to 6. Down here, this was x is less than or equal to 4. Alright, so there's the first video. That was probably longer than it needed to be, but I just wanted to annotate quite a bit there. Please, please consider these things. The and is your overlap, or is pretty much everything. Actually, it's more like the outsides. Usually. We'll see some exceptions coming up. Alright, see you in the next video.